Acting Texas Comptroller Kelly Hancock, thank you so much, and welcome back to Eye on Politics.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. So this is the first day that your office has launched the Texas Education Freedom Accounts, the taxpayer-funded school choice program, and you've gotten some big numbers. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's been a good day. And, I want to start by giving the team a lot of credit. We spent months listening to folks across the state interested in the program, and they've really put out a really good product. I mean, this is a lot like running a business, Jack. I mean, which I've done, start a business from scratch, which is kind of what we're doing here with the Texas Education Freedom Accounts. And first day was very good. We got off to a hot start. Everything went smoothly. 8,000 folks within the first hour. Over 20,000 by noon, and 1,700 schools participating in the program. So, a great thing for Texas, a great opportunity to improve education across the state of Texas, and we're real excited.
And since you mentioned about starting up a business, you had 20,000, like you said, more than that around noontime, 8,000 in the first hour. And so what I'm wondering is, was this what you estimated? And how does the actual numbers compare to what you estimated?
Well, we're Texas, so we want to be the best, the biggest, and the brightest. And so, we'd love to see a record. Obviously, I'm a goals and metrics kind of guy, and so we have our goals and objectives, and we're right on pace, Jack, to set a new record for those participating in the program for the very first time in the state. And it's like I said, it couldn't have gone smoother.
Now, I know one of the things that you have said is that this is not a first come, first served basis,
Right.
and that the deadline for people is March 17th, right?
Correct. And so what happens here, and we had a lot, like I said, we had 8,000 in the first hour. So there were a lot of people anxious to get on the program, but it is not a first come, first serve. I mean, it is prioritized based on the legislature. There's 5 different tiers. Low income, special needs are the priorities, and priorities in our office and legislatively as well. And I can tell you, at the time we're talking, so roughly a little bit after noon, we had 75% were low income and middle class families, which is on target. And that's where we've been focusing. That's where I've been traveling the state, going into those areas that we had private schools in low income areas, knowing that that was the priority for the legislature as well as our office as well.
And so you said 3/4 of those of
Yeah.
the 20,000 plus are fit those categories, low income and disabled.
And special, you're right, special needs as well. There were 5 different tiers established by the legislature,
Right.
and 75% of those registered by noon today were in those criteria. And we're watching that. So we have marketing set up so that if we don't see the numbers that we want focused on that lower income, we have marketing efforts, between now and March 17th that we'll go out and we'll improve marketing, and we'll make sure the word gets out in those low income areas, because that's the priority.
I was going to ask you, what does that look like? Because I know you mentioned just before that, you're going to private schools in low income areas. But I would imagine you also want to reach students who attend public schools in those areas. So how does that marketing look? What does that marketing look like?
So it is broad based, Jack. I mean, I've been to career and technology schools as well, because you can participate in that. If you're homeschooling, you can use the 2,000 to take career and technology courses, tutorial service. So pre-K, all of those are on the website, and all of those available. So what we've tried to do, and really what we have, and we monitor, we look at it. I'm a business guy, so we're taking a business approach to this entire program, and we're targeting areas that we know we need to focus more here and more there. And we're literally monitoring it as we go to make sure where we need to shift based on what we're seeing. And the good news is, both on the school side, we have a very well-rounded group of schools and tutorial services for those looking to participate in. And like I said, the demographics that we're looking for, that were the priority for the legislature, we're seeing the outcomes fit. And so we'll continue looking at it. We'll monitor that on well, literally every hour, to make sure that we're adjusting the program just like a business would do to meet the desire and the guidelines that the legislature set up.
So talk to me a little bit about these 1,700 schools that you said have applied, and they're approved, these 1,700?
So the process, Jack, going through there is, um, we've had to look at criteria for the schools that we allowed to enlist. Now, the parents will sign up. That selection, the parents will be notified in April. There could still be some monitoring. So there may be schools on the site that we learned some additional information on. But all those have met the criteria to be on the site, to be selected from. And we provide a tool there on the website for parents to go and look at schools that are participating in their area.
And you brought up a good point. So the deadline for people to apply is March 17th. And you're saying that people will start finding out in April, as early as April.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. We're moving at the speed of business. We have since I got here. And so we want parents to know by April, but no funds will be transferred until July. So, and we'll continue to monitor. Our number one purpose here in Comptroller's office, I'm the chief financial officer for the state, is protect taxpayer dollars. And so just because we've got 1,700 on site, we're still going to make sure before any cash changes hand, before those tax dollars change hands, that we are very, very certain that it's a good, smooth transaction, and it's not, as I'll ask for the Attorney General's opinion, we don't want to see any state dollars into the hands of any organizations that support the Chinese Communist Party, terrorism, or anything like that. So we're going to continue monitoring that, but we've done a pretty good job at this point, but no funds will change hands until July.
And so I would imagine your screening process, did you elevate your screening process to ensure that that was the case, that these schools who are taking part are not tied to terrorism or China, et cetera?
Well, correct. And so, we had to implement that within our office. It's a multi-step process. And, we're always going to be open and looking to see if anything changes as well to safeguard, Texas taxpayer dollars.
And my last question to you is, you talked about it a little bit, that money will be sent to parents in July because the program is going to start right up in August. It's in time for this new school year. And you haven't really been able to set how many students are going to be in this program, because if there are any disabilities, those students can get up to $30,000,
Right.
whereas most other students will get up to $10,000. And you have $1 billion to work with, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The largest program in the nation, $1 billion. And so we don't know the criteria. As we move, we're monitoring that on a daily basis, and have an idea, and we'll be able to produce a number that we think as we get into the program. But the funds will be set aside for the families, but to make sure that we safeguard taxpayer dollars, we have a very, very secure system that those funds will flow directly to the entity that they choose. And so it will stay in the state's hands until it flows directly to it. So while it's set aside for the families, there is a safe, secure, and auditable mechanism that it goes actually to the schools, tutorial services that those families choose.
And based on what you said before, sorry, I just thought of this, but based on what you said before, that you're watching this every hour. And so what does it say then that, how would you describe what you're seeing as far as the numbers?
Yeah, we're pleased with the numbers, and we're pleased with the broad array of participants on all aspects of it. And so, again, our team's done a great job of listening to people around the state and putting together a product that I think Texans are going to be pleased with. And our goal, and I think the governor's goal, is to improve education across the state of Texas in all areas.
Acting Texas Comptroller Kelly Hancock, thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, Jack.
We appreciate it.